Welcome to another edition of the channel's Mailbag. So what is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is the part of the channel that you guys actually control. It's based on comments, questions, general feedback that you guys leave either on the YouTube channel, the website, or through one of my social media feeds. Mailbag contains what I think the answer is, what I think my view of the comment is, or sometimes, I just throw it out to the wider audience and say, what do you guys think? That's what Mailbag is. So let's get in to the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Okay, next comment or question comes from Chris Van Lommel. Have I spelled that, pronounced that correctly? And this was in response to, does the world need the Korg Kronos 3? SMR I did in February 2025. And Chris writes, as I reported in another video, I know the Kronos has a long boot time, but did you ever consider a UPS? I have seen it first used on a festival where band members of the band backstage were preparing sound checking on these movable stages, and before being moved to the front of the stage they just pulled all the multi-cable and power cables, moved the band to the front of the stage while they drove the other band who were finished playing to the back, put all the multi-cable and power cables back in, and they were ready to go. No guitar amp, bass amp, keyboards, synth that had to be restarted, so the whole thing just lasted less than a minute. I bought directly one, two, and I take every gig I take with me. It's the best outboard investment I ever did. It saves me a lot of stress. Whenever the power goes out, everything goes down, but my two keyboards just keep working because they're on the UPS. It's even funnier when you have speakers inside or connected. I'm the only one still having sound while the rest has to wait, try it and enjoy. This is a very interesting and topical comment. So thanks for sharing your use of the UPS. Personally, I advocate UPSs in a rig anyway. They perform two acts in my mind. They provide protection from the venue power supply dropping out while you are performing, first thing. And more importantly, they protect your rig from poor quality supply. Voltage spikes, brownouts are smoothed out by the UPS. These are not passed on to your rig. My experience in the past are these two events can cause absolute havoc with electronics, especially keyboards. This is not just limited to kind of Kronos and the boot times. But this is like if you've got any electronics plugged into mains powered supplies, especially venue supplies that have been particularly ropey in the past, the UK electrical standards kind of make them a lot better nowadays. But I've had things where certain sockets are on one phase of a power supply and certain sockets are on other phase of a power supply, and I've seen sparks between the two before now. So yes, my comments come from that sort of area. Now I do have two UPSs. I don't have them in the Hobbit hut as it currently stands, and the reason for that is that I just haven't got round to bringing them back from storage at the moment. But the idea is that each one of these stacks will have a UPS on it, so that should things go a bit pear-shaped, then it doesn't. It's for me, it's not about the equipment remaining up. It's more about protecting the equipment from the main supply. In my case now, because I don't gig. If I went back to gigging, maybe I'll have a different outlook on it. But that's kind of where I am. Now I have had in the past when I've been out, I've had keyboards fried sending large pops to poorly protected PA speakers, blowing, and numerous other events like that. A couple spring to mind. This wasn't my keyboard, I might add. I was playing um, I was standing in for somebody else, and I was playing their keyboard, and the venue had a really ropey power supply, and there was a pop. You heard an audible pop on the PA, and when I went down and looked at the keyboard was there were no longer any lights on the keyboard. So I've had that. I've had another one where I've been at a venue and there's been a pop, a really loud pop, and then we found out that it had blown the main drivers in the PA. So that venue, that gig kind of had to get cancelled because we couldn't do it any other way. The PA was gone. Um, we did try to get the vocalist up over on a guitar amp, but it really didn't work. Uh, but I can probably list quite a few events where that's happened. You know, you don't tend to see it as a professional musician as you're moving a little bit further up, because you tend to have these things built into your rig by your keyboard and service techs. But when you're a grassroots musician, you don't think about carrying around a UPS. I know my friend Wayne Harris of Bon Jovi fame. He has a Furman in his rig, so that's not a UPS per se, but it is it is a power conditioner, and he runs all his stuff off post Furman, so he's protected against sort of spikes and poor quality mains, but he's not protected from losing the power completely, which is what a UPS would give him. But at least he's got his stuff protected from the nasties of brownouts and spikes.